That's my dad up there. And then we have my mom is over here on top. We got heavy stone. We don't know how to get it up there yet. And that's her brother. And then my late wife is over there.
Okay.
And so we're full.
And you're going to go...
I'm going to go somewhere around here. I don't know where.
You know, not only is your, connection to this land emotional and
yes,
long, but literally...
So the answer is, what do I do with the cemetery if SpaceX wants to buy me?
This quiet part of South Texas is going through some serious changes. A region some call America's most impoverished is now home to the world's richest man and his ambitious rocket facility and spaceport where future missions to Mars could be launched.
I think in Brownsville, there is definitely a different kind of vibe.
It has put us on the map. We're at the center of innovation now.
But not everyone is happy. Some with historical ties to the Rio Grande Valley have grown tired of SpaceX's expansion in Boca Chica, which has led to local road closures, restricted access to a beloved public beach, and gentrification in nearby Brownsville.
It's in my backyard, and if I don't protect my backyard, who else will?
What's happening here in our home is 100% colonization.
There are environmental concerns too. SpaceX rocket launches take place in a diverse ecosystem, one that is home to significant populations of birds and endangered wildlife. Damage and debris have been found in the surrounding areas.
We've had issues with large debris on the beach. We've had issues with debris in people's front lawns.
We traveled to South Texas to see firsthand how Elon Musk and SpaceX were changing the local community and whether or not there would be a winner in the fight for its future, or perhaps a compromise. This is what has people divided. SpaceX's Starbase rises above the pristine Boca Chica Wildlife Refuge, home to numerous species of birds and sea turtles. The future of space travel may very well be created here, in this remote stretch of South Texas.
I think Texas has the right amount of rules and regulations. Yeah.
The private rocket production facility, test site, and spaceport have been years in the making, even though launches only started in 2019. The company is developing its reusable Starship rocket here, with aims of carrying cargo and humans beyond planet Earth. Boca Chica used to be a sleepy beach town, but today it looks like this. Bobby Lerma lives about 11 kilometers from the facility. He's a lawyer and retired judge whose ties to this area stretch back more than 150 years. His family ranch, a sprawling 1,200-acre property on the Rio Grande, complete with a swimming pool and brick barbecue, is more than a property. It's the embodiment of beloved childhood memories.
I've been at the ranch my entire life. Always people there, always people having a good time, barbecuing every weekend. We were constantly enjoying it. I raise cows, so I'm in the cattle business. I just enjoy it to the fullest and I enjoy being there. And from there, I can be at the beach in 6 or 8 minutes. I'm down at the beach, have fun, and come back 6 or 8 minutes down the road. So the area is unique for everything it has.
The ranch has been in his family since 1861, the year the American Civil War began, and his relatives had a front row seat to the final battle of that brutal conflict that nearly broke America in two.
There's a war going on. You imagine the regiments of soldiers, and you're sitting there in your living room watching.
The Battle of Palmito Hill took place on these dusty plains, which still look very much the same. But now the area is home to a new fight, one that will likely change it forever. It's a battle between the old and new Boca Chica.
The influx of SpaceX has changed a lot. They're buying everything they can get their hands on. They called a few times, but I turned them down and I told them it wasn't for sale. We have all of my grandparents, my parents, and all other family members are buried there. It means too much to the family.
From Bobby's property, it's hard to tell that hundreds of people are busy building rockets just down the road. But while he may not see them, he feels their presence. Heavy traffic now flows into the once quiet area. Rocket launches have led the local government of Cameron County to initiate closures on Highway 4, the only road that leads to Bobby's ranch and Boca Chica Beach.
To me, he's ruined the habitat. He's ruined the preserve, the beach. There's been some explosions that have polluted the bay, and they've found fragments out in the ocean. There's a lot of wildlife that will be affected.
And those environmental concerns are real. The construction and expansion of Starbase led the Federal Aviation Administration on a months-long review of SpaceX's operations, as activists were concerned about the company's impact on local wildlife.
We've already seen harsh declines in different bird populations. We've seen deaths of ocelots. This is one of the last places where ocelots live in the wild and actually reproduce, like in the whole world. A lot of the times that they've launched these rockets, they've either exploded mid-air, exploded on the launch pad, exploded once they touched back down. Quite a few people live out there. So those people have actually had to deal with the noise and the light pollution and the debris, just for existing out there.
The FAA has since given the green light for SpaceX to expand in the area, but required the company to take actions to mitigate its environmental footprint.
Disappointing, not surprising. Not a lot of people have a lot of experience fighting a billionaire's private spaceflight company. But from what we have learned so far is they very rarely side with us.
Even 30 kilometers from Starbase, the effects of SpaceX are being felt. The city of Brownsville, which sits on the border with Mexico, is often called America's poorest. But as newcomers arrive from wealthy California and elsewhere in the country, house prices are being pushed up. New restaurants are popping up, and a so-called revitalization effort is underway.
It's driving up market prices. I never expected there to be so many people here associated with SpaceX. You have a negative side to it, but if you want progress, you've got to take everything that comes with it, right?
But that progress could come at the expense of Brownsville's poorest residents.
It feels like they're trying to push us out, but we have nowhere else to go. We can't leave, We have these roots that are put in here and have been for so long.
Housing developments are sprouting up all over Brownsville. That's good news for Craig Grove, a local real estate agent. He created his own brand, Starbase Realty, when Elon Musk announced his plans for Boca Chica.
Elon had put out there, "We'll come down and move to Starbase, Texas." So I put Starbase Realty. We were getting like 50,000 views within days.
Craig took us on a tour of the city, one that he says is struggling to keep up with demand as SpaceX employees and enthusiasts arrive in droves.
It's something that we never thought we would see is, these people coming from California, Seattle, Denver, coming to work at SpaceX in these high-tech jobs, specialty welding, computer programming, robotics, all these kinds of things. These were things that these jobs did not exist here before. So having these high-paying jobs come to the area obviously had an impact. It has increased the median home price because a lot of these people are looking at the same houses a lot of our locals are looking at, between $200,000 and $300,000, 3-bedroom to 4-bedroom, 2.5 to 3-bath, 2-car garage. That's the the magic number across the US, right? It's no different here, except for here, it's historically way more affordable. So this one of my friends is actually building that one.
Okay, nice.
This one is the one that I told you that I sold, and now we already have it under market. Yeah, like 30, 40,000 more than they bought it for 6 months ago. So right now we're in the appraisal phase on this one. Okay. So why don't we go in and check it out? We had this house listed at $295,000. Okay. We got multiple offers and we put it under contract in about a week. Oh, wow. A couple years ago, this house would probably have been $220. Oh wow, okay. SpaceX isn't the sole contributor, but it definitely has had an impact. I had a young guy that came here last summer, and he was from Los Angeles with SpaceX. He'd already worked there, but he put in for a transfer and got it. He said, Craig, you don't understand. In Los Angeles, I was looking at a house just before the transfer came in, and it was gonna be $1 million. He walks in, 28 years old, literal rocket scientist with SpaceX, and he buys a 4-bedroom, 2,800 square feet, $280,000, like that, no haggling, no nothing.
The house had plenty of room, but as real estate agents cater to SpaceX, Craig also admits there are winners and losers in the surge.
The cost of living has gone up, and the income has not gone up for most people proportionately to the cost of living. So that's really the key point of concern for a lot of people, and I share that too. I mean, I live here too.
The city, while empathetic to those frustrated by the changes, has embraced SpaceX wholeheartedly and sees its future as intertwined with that of the company's.
Our hotels are full, our bars and restaurants are full, our sales tax numbers are at record levels, and I think a lot of that is due to SpaceX. We're stretching our dollar every year, and it's becoming harder and harder. And if we don't grow our property tax base, we don't raise incomes, it's never going to get better here. So I would say Elon provides a better future for everyone.
Musk has donated millions to help spruce up the city center, but his outsized influence has frustrated Bobby and others.
The mayor, received a big, nice check, and they're all worshiping the altar of King Elon, I would say.
When people buy into like the glamour of it all, they don't realize that they're hurting an entire community of over 200,000 people.
A whole ecosystem is gathering around SpaceX and its engineers in Brownsville. Fans and enthusiasts of the company are finding a new home here. In the outskirts of the city, we met one of its new residents, Jack Ewan, who recently moved from Saudi Arabia.
My son said that there is a launch down in this place called Brownsville. So we came down. This seems like a reasonable place to come, want to see some more SpaceX, get involved, have some purpose for my family.
Jack runs a makerspace, a collaborative community of makers who, inspired by SpaceX, well, make and build stuff.
This is their 2,800-pound robot arm that they're trying to put together. This is a heavy lift drone that these guys are trying to put together.
Really? It flexes that whole thing. Jack and his team have built stormproof windows, a solar-powered outhouse, and a climbing wall. The company is even home to a number of SpaceX engineers who work on personal projects on the site. There are some eccentric plans for the future.
We're trying to figure out what structures to build here. And one of the ideas is to build a Dragon capsule. Now, the dimension on a Dragon capsule is roughly 13 feet in diameter, roughly 26 feet high. So the idea is to have Dragon Capsule 1, Dragon Capsule 2, Dragon Capsule 3, and this will be the Dragon Pond, and this will be Dragon's Nest.
With some of the top minds moving into the area, Jack hopes to improve the skills of the city's residents and maybe even set them up for a future job at SpaceX.
SpaceX has some of the finest engineers in the world who make things. They're here to actually focus on making us a multi-planetary species. I'm trying to provide a place where the SpaceX engineers can kind of meet with the locally trained engineers, and so they can break bread together and kind of learn about what's expected. These guys work pretty darn hard.
Change has already come to Brownsville. The question now is, how long will it last? Even Bobby, whose family, home, and way of life has been disrupted, sees some of the benefits.
I'm not in the way of progress. Okay, progress is here. If it's better for Brownsville, provides more jobs, then that's fine too. Maybe one of my kids might get a job at SpaceX. But will my kid not be able to go to the beach one day?
He only hopes a balance can be struck and that the soul of the community can be preserved.
I never knew it would be as robust and huge as it is. And I don't even think we've seen the beginning of it yet.
It's hard to imagine, though, that SpaceX's operation in Boca Chica will slow down. Elon Musk appears to have a vision for this place, and as the world's richest man, he may just get his way. The National reached out to SpaceX for comment. They did not respond.